bring his ass to this ring? Give me a hell yeah!
Well, we might as well. We happen to be handy anyway. I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
And we're back once again for SCI Wrestling. And I just love the morning of a pay-per-view.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just like waiting for the parents to get up so you can go, can we open the gifts now, Dad?
Yes.
Can we open the gifts now?
Yes, just give me the stocking, please.
Man, we are such nerds.
Absolutely we are.
That's all there is to it.
The only bad thing is the fact that, because we do this show on Sunday mornings.
Yes.
Pay-per-views tonight.
Yes.
So we become obsolete by tomorrow.
I know.
But oh well.
I'm beginning to wonder if maybe my earlier suggestion of let's wait until after the pay-per-view and then record our predictions, and just so we'll maintain accuracy. I'm beginning to wonder if there might have been some wisdom in that.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. We'll see after tonight, right?
Yeah, because we're going to make our predictions today, all based upon what's going to happen tonight, and we'll check our accuracy. And
at least we'll be able to do a little bit of predictions on what's to come.
At least one of us has had a batted 1,000 on predictions on one show.
But I still go back to the previous statement. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Can never be bad. Can never. It's a W in the win. It's a check mark in the W column. It's a win.
I feel confident that I might bet 1,000 on this one.
You think
on this pay-per-view?
Okay.
I'm pretty confident because I'm just going to go with what I think they'll do, which is some of it's going to be the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go through there.
Obviously WrestleMania is considered the biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Absolutely.
No questions asked. Why is SummerSlam given such prestige?
Probably because of its longevity.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay,
because this is the...
this is considered to be the premier pay-per-view outside of WrestleMania.
Outside of WrestleMania. This is number 2.
Okay.
It's the Summer Spectacular. They've been doing it since 1989. So they've been doing it for 20 plus years. So it makes sense that the fact that, it is the second biggest pay-per-view. I do think that Royal Rumble is surpassing it.
You mean as far as popularity among the fans?
As far as popularity goes.
Okay.
It just, to me, it doesn't have that prestige like the Royal Rumble does now. Because in fact, Royal Rumble is all based off one match.
Right.
And that's why people would tune in for that one match.
Well, and so is tables, ladders, and chairs.
Yeah, but that's not as popular as Royal Rumble.
Well, and actually, now that I say that, though, that's not entirely true. It's not based off of one match. It's actually a series of matches. There's one match that'll have tables, ladders, and chairs.
But that's not...
They usually have a match
I would put
just
Money
tables.
in the Bank over that.
Well, now why? Now that's an interesting statement because Money in the Bank is nothing more than Monday Night Raw with one match where a briefcase hangs from the roof.
Because of the fact that you're putting 5 superstars.
Yeah. Whenever
you multiply it, more than 2, and you put all those people in the same ring with ladders to scale a ladder to grab it. To me, that's just more popular than a TLC match. To where all that means is the fact that they're able to use tables, ladders, and chairs.
Right. Okay.
There's a goal. The goal is to go up there and grab the briefcase, as opposed to just pinning your opponent. Which is the case in every other scenario besides the Royal Rumble.
Sure. Okay. All right. I'll buy that. That's a good explanation.
You buy it.
I still want them to bring back things like the Texas bull rope matches, the 4-corner matches. I'd still love to see those come back.
I would like that too. I would love it.
That's just the good old school, and they tend to every once in a while they show glimmers of old school.
I love how you say the good old, because the fact that I showed you a picture before we started the show, and I tweeted about it, about me seeing the General Lee from Dukes and Hazzard.
Yes.
And I just keep thinking, just the good old boys don't mean any harm.
You realize that tonight's pay-per-view, I was thinking about this earlier, they could have played somewhat on the angle of the wives, because we have in tonight's pay-per-view 3 prominent wives of 3 prominent wrestlers, albeit in one case maybe a former, but still a wife nevertheless.
Right.
We got Brie Bella, married of course to Daniel Bryan, AJ Lee, married to CM Punk, and then Stephanie McMahon. So and all they would really need now is to put in Natalia, and bring her husband in, and they could do an entire.
And he's probably.
They ought to do the Newlywed Game. A wrestling match based on the Newlywed Game with those couples.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, that is kind of a,
You should pitch that.
Now that would be something that would be fresh and original.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever done anything like that.
No, never.
Huh.
You want me to send an email?
Yeah.
All right, I'll send an email.
Even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then.
That's true.
That's
true.
That makes two good ideas I've had. That one and then the idea about Dusty Rhodes being the guest referee between his sons.
But we all do that.
Yeah. But that's never going to happen now. I don't see that happening because they're kind of dropping the ball on Goldust and Stardust.
Why?
I don't know why. That seems to be a natural idea.
I have some feeling that the fact that maybe Dustin or Cody just don't want to do it.
I don't know. Cody seems to be into it.
Right. But there has to be some kind of...
Maybe they're just running out of ideas and they don't know where to take them now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, are you ready for a tweet of the week?
I am ready for a tweet of the week.
I think we ought to do it. I'm loving that song every time I hear it. Yep. Hit it.
Love
do
Michael.
It.
All right. So this one is brought to you.
Yes.
I'm loading.
He's getting loaded, folks.
All right. We're going back to my old favorite, and they should pay me royalties for as many tweets as I read from them. But they're good. They're always really good. They're always really comical.
Okay.
And I really don't have any better ones, really. It's brought to you by WB.
Kind of the reason why I got married last time.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
WBE Creative Humor.
Yeah.
Which you can find them at WBE Creative _ISH, which means creative-ish.
Uh-huh.
This is their tweet. For the last time, Rusev versus Jack Swagger is a flag match with an L. Please stop sending us letters.
I've never thought about that. That's yeah, that could make an interesting okay. I better not speak too much on that. I'll get myself in trouble. So with tonight's
let me specify one thing. That tweet will cost you $9.99.
It'll cost you $9.99.
Yeah.
Okay. With tonight's pay-per-view looming around the corner here, let's go ahead and get into this week's countdown.
Number 10.
Although she likely remains focused on final preparations for her SummerSlam clash against Paige, Divas champion AJ Lee likely will not look past Total Divas star Eva Marie when the grapplers meet again.
Number 9.
WWE Tag Team Champions The Usos combined fearlessness and toughness to successfully fend off all comers in the Tandem Title Holders Open Challenge on WWE Main Event this week.
Number 8.
While the WWE Universe can always applaud his fighting spirit, United States Champion Sheamus failed to find a chance on Raw to put Randy Orton away with a knockout brogue kick. And this entry leads us straight into...
Number 7.
I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me.
WWE's Apex Predator viciously pummeled United States Champion Sheamus on Raw and now seeks to do the same to Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. It's not the WWE World Heavyweight title match Randy Orton was hoping for, but the Viper will undoubtedly seek solace in the total destruction of Reigns.
Number 6.
Chris Jericho stared into the face of fear on Raw during his verbal confrontation with Bray Wyatt, but will need to summon a lot more than just words to humble the Wyatt family patriarch at SummerSlam.
Number 5.
The cold-blooded Seth Rollins tore Rob Van Dam and Kofi Kingston apart during Raw and WWE Main Event, respectively, and now seeks to do the same to former ally Dean Ambrose tonight at SummerSlam.
Number 4.
most ring warriors would rest easy with a resume that includes a victory that ended The Undertaker's undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Of course, Brock Lesnar is not like most ring warriors and intends to prove that when he meets John Cena tonight at SummerSlam for the WWE World Heavyweight title.
Number 3.
And speaking of the champ, John Cena needs no further evidence to prove his readiness or willingness to defend the WWE World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam against Brock Lesnar. However, Cena still has to demonstrate one little thing. Does he have the ability to stop the Beast incarnate at the hottest event of the summer?
Number 2.
Say what you want about his misguided priorities, but one thing remains absolutely clear about Dean Ambrose. He will stop at nothing until he avenges the injustices inflicted upon him by Seth Rollins. Ambrose's wish may come true tonight at SummerSlam, presuming he's allowed to compete this time. And now, with this week's climb to the top of the chart,
Number 1.
a disqualification victory against Rybaxel did not preclude Roman Reigns from seizing the day from The Miz on SmackDown. Of course, those past results are not indicative of future results, especially when Reigns' opponent at SummerSlam can connect an RKO out of nowhere at any time. That's this week's SCI Top 10 PowerPoints. Okay, we're preparing for the big PPV tonight, and you can see it at the WWE Network for only
$9.99.
You realize you turn that upside down and it's the mark of the beast?
That's true. That's true.
I love that gimmick that they got going with that. Only $9.99.
On that Raw, with the Hulk Hogan celebration,
Right?
I was just, I was like, oh God, but it was comical at the same time.
It is.
By the way, why is the Usos theme music different every time on the countdown?
Thank you for noticing that. Actually, it's not. It is the same music each and every week.
Oh, really?
But if you listen very closely also to the theme songs of Seth Rollins and John Cena, those will vary up as well. Because actually, now using the Usos as an example, their ring music that they're currently using has three distinct starting points. They have the beginning where the drums go doom, doom. They're kind of slow and real grand.
Is that when they do like their little tribal dance?
Yeah, then they do that dance. So sometimes I'll use that. Sometimes I'll get right into the rhythm track that they go to as soon as their pyros go off.
Okay.
So yeah, from week to week, it sounds like it changes songs. Actually, it's just different parts of the same song. John Cena's theme, if you listen real close to the intro that I use in the countdown, is a highly shortened version of the intro, because his intro to his music actually goes on about a minute and a half.
Really?
If you sit there on TV and timed it out, you never notice it on TV because you're seeing things. But man, in audio, it sticks out like a cockroach on a white carpet.
Right.
And it takes forever to get to it. And then the Seth Rollins, I will not use his first part of his music because he has the worst ring music for production. Because the music goes da-dun, 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 and then stops. If you listen to that his song, it sounds like the audio guy's turning it off about every 2 minutes or
Wow.
so. So it's awful. I had to edit that bed just to use it in the countdown, as it sucks. Anyway, enough about my griping. But thank you for noticing that. It tells me you're paying attention.
I am paying attention.
Yeah. So that does lead us up to tonight's pay-per-view and all the action found therein. So you think you can call the entire card?
I think so. I think I'll be able to back.
Are you including the pre-show?
Yes.
And I think I ought to do a separate prediction on which ones I think you're going to pick. But that would kind of defeat the purpose because I'd be telling you what to pick.
It would.
But I think I know who you're going to pick on RVD versus Cesaro for the pre-show.
Okay.
You're going to pick RVD.
No, I'm not.
Really?
Actually, I will go Cesaro.
No kidding.
Yeah. I think.
Wow, there is a God.
There is a God. I think they're leading into something a little bit larger for Cesaro. And so I think RVD, he's getting ready to fade out of WWE for a little bit. I think he's ran his course as far as just a part-time performer. So I think we're going to see him put Cesaro over at the pre-show.
Very possibly. And they better do something with Cesaro quick. Otherwise, Cesaro is going to find himself going by the wayside really fast.
Who are you predicting?
I'll just go with RVD just because you went with Cesaro.
Okay.
That way one of us will get it anyway.
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to say, and I really don't have any other reason other than that, because quite frankly, that's just one of those I really don't care matches. But it's the free one that everybody watches.
Right.
But if you want to see the rest of them, you just belly up for the grand total of
$9.99.
Okay. Then we ought to get commissions out of
We
this.
should.
Okay. The two wives, Brie Bella, Stephanie McMahon. Now this one, I really thought long and hard about putting one or both of these ladies in the countdown. I decided against it because this is more of a sideshow than it is a match. However, it is still very entertaining.
I hate the affair angle, though.
Yeah, that was a bit cheap.
In fact, they did.
And she wasn't even very hot.
No, not at all. They did.
I wouldn't have done her.
Really?
And man, I'm just not picky.
I thought if they had a hole, you would do it.
That's how come my front yard don't have trees. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the angle. In fact, Daniel Bryan's actually worked a record with in an interview saying he didn't like the angle as either.
I imagine,
not for it.
yeah. Well, you know, Daniel is, and I can't speak for Brie because I kind of, I'll do respect her. I like the Bella twins, and I think they're good performers and all. But I kind of look at them as possibly being what you would call high maintenance. Daniel seems to be a little bit more down to earth.
Yeah.
So I could see him having a problem with that angle.
Oh, absolutely.
But hey, it's show business. It's a job.
Yep.
Okay, on this one, I'm gonna go ahead and stick my neck out on this. Brie has got to win.
Okay.
And that's exactly who I'm going with, because this is going to give them more reason to not let Daniel Bryan come in later on if they need that as a storyline.
I'm actually going to agree with you. I'm going to say Brie Bella as well. And I think we're going to see the first appearance of Daniel Bryan in a while during this match as well.
And I was kind of wondering about that.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable that he will at least make an appearance during this match. It just makes too much sense, really.
Now here's the match I am really looking forward to tonight: Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, and I'm going to go right off the bat with Roman Reigns, just because they really need to build him anyway right now.
Right.
So I think that's not just good for business; it's necessary for business. But just because I love his character and I love the way he's been portraying it, he deserves it anyway.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one too.
You're no fun.
You keep predicting everything that's going to be right, so I can't really disagree with you here.
This may be the beginning of Roman's reign.
Yeah, I put my reputation on the line saying I would bat 1,000, so I have to go with what I think they're going to do.
Okay.
But I don't see any other way. I don't see a reason why Randy should win.
Which, however, is another reason that they may do that.
That's true. That's true. But
I know, right? I just threw a wrench into. Now you got all these doubts going through.
No,
your head.
I don't. I just can't see a positive motive behind Randy Orton beat Roman Reigns clean.
Okay.
So if anything, it's gonna be a DQ somehow or another.
Yeah. Now this is not in a match that I would really be suspicious of outside interference.
Right.
Because Randy Orton generally is the one who's interfering. He's not generally the one who gets interfered on behalf. So I don't see that happening. But yes, I do see a count out, possibly out of the ring,
Right.
or something like that, maybe to disqualify. Or occasionally they will allow the referees to call a match if it gets overly aggressive outside of the ring.
Right.
And nobody responds or anything. So, yeah, I can see that ending in some kind of a DQ. Okay. Now, this is interesting between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I'm wondering, should we predict the winner, or should we be predicting whether or not it'll even happen?
Huh. Oh, it'll happen this time. It won't be like last pay-per-view. It will happen. I think that you could put money on.
Okay. And well, it's just that if it weren't for the fact they like to go back to the well so often.
Not back-to-back pay-per-views. They can't do it. They can't.
Remember, this is the same company who recently had Kane take his mask off again.
But no.
Okay.
They're going to. I think this is it. I do think it's going to carry over. I don't think this is going to be their one and only match. I think it will carry over.
Well, assuming they do wrestle, who's your pick?
I'm going to say Rollins right now.
Really?
With help.
Well, yeah, and I understand what you're saying there, but this is one I will have to disagree with you on. I think it'll be a little cleaner of a match than what you would think just because of the lumberjack idea.
Oh, I forgot about the lumberjacks.
And yeah, because they've got a lot of mutual enemies. At least within the storyline, we have a lot of mutual enemies surrounding the ring. In fact, almost everybody is a mutual enemy,
right? Unless
somehow or another Roman gets involved into the fray outside the ring.
Well, we don't even know who the lumberjacks are.
Does it really matter at this point? I mean, they're just about enemies with everybody.
Well, yeah, but Furman Reigns is one of them. That would put a little twist on it.
Well, it would also put him in jeopardy of being compromised before his match if it happens.
Yeah, you're right.
If it happens like that. Okay, let's move on to the next wife. What I'm calling the next wife match: AJ Lee versus Paige.
Your future wife, is that what you're portraying to?
I'm sorry?
Your future wife and Paige?
No. Are you kidding? Paige?
I love Paige.
You do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. In fact, of all the divas right now, that would be my choice.
Man, she's just... I didn't think we'd ever see anybody who was more pale than Sheamus.
I'm okay with that.
Man, she is... That girl is white.
You can see all her misperfections, and there isn't any.
No, she's a lovely girl. I will give her that. I will give her, but she really does need to get out in the sun every now and then.
But her accent.
Now her accent's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I do like a British accent. They can
Australian.
They can say anything and make it sound dignified. It's not Australian. It's British. Is it Australian?
It's Australian. She's an Aussie.
I thought she was from England.
No.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, then I'm sounding like a complete idiot. But if I remember right, she's from Australia.
And could be. I've never been able to differentiate the accents. I just assumed it was.
It's hard to tell.
I just assumed it was from England.
See, Paige, if you're listening to this girl, see, I know you.
So am I correct in presuming your prediction then would be Paige?
No, actually, I'm going with AJ
Lee. There's just no loyalty.
No loyalty. I'm going with AJ Lee on that one.
Okay, so and I was going to go with AJ as well, because I just like your reason for Roman Reigns and Orton, I don't see any other possible outcome on this. There's just no other way to go, because if they're trying to build Paige up, they're doing a lousy job of it, because it's just, I don't think it's working. Right. And I think I think the Divas are in dire need of somebody stable. Granted, that's a weird thing to say about AJ Lee, right, but her character does provide stability among the storylines.
It's true. It's very true.
Now, this is another match that I'm really looking forward to this evening. Jack Swagger versus the Rusev. This is almost like some of the old school wrestling, doing the flag matches and stuff like that.
With an L.
Yes. I had to stop. What? Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's referred to as a callback.
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see how they do this tonight, because I can see a couple of different ways that they could go, and I'm wondering if they're going to allow current politics to decide. Because, Russia is a bit in the political news now.
I'll let you make the first prediction on this one.
I'm all American.
Okay.
I mean, I when I go to the bathroom, I make my own version of apple pie. So I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to go with Rusev. I'm gonna have to go with him on this one. Not because I think he's a better wrestler or anything like that, but if you're going to build a heel and want him to be hated, this is a good way to do it.
I'm gonna differ from you. I'm gonna say Jack Swagger on this one.
Okay, and I really hope you're right. I really do.
I think this is the one opportunity where you're able to see Jack Swagger go over, but it doesn't compromise Rusev's momentum, because the fact that he doesn't have to be pinned to win.
That's true. That is true. I will give you that. It's just that I can see them really, really wanting to build the hatred up.
I don't blame you. I mean, it makes sense that Rusev could do it as well. But I'm gonna defer to what the I don't know if they want cheap heat, then yeah, they'll put Rusev over. But I think they're going to do Swagger.
You know, this next match, I was really interested in it at first, but explain something to me. On the match coming up between Jericho and Bray Wyatt,
right?
Why am I losing interest in this so quickly?
You know, and I heard a podcast, they were talking about this. It makes a lot of sense to, they just don't really compromise complement each other very well. It seems like their chemistry is just off. It seems like Jericho wanted to work with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
But it seems like they're not clicking for some reason. It's just not working. And it's just maybe their chemistry just doesn't flow. I don't know. That the whole sit down interview from Monday night.
That wasn't even believable.
No, it wasn't believable at all. I didn't like it. I don't know. I had high hopes for it. I had high hopes from the beginning when I heard about there could be a feud between Jericho and Bray Wyatt, but it's not working. But this is going to be the end of it, and I'm going to say Bray Wyatt wins.
Okay, I've already gone with Jericho. That's already committed to that, so we've got an even split on that. And I'm glad to hear you saying that you've heard another podcast saying that, because I was thinking, is it just me?
No, we're not alone.
Okay. Ziggler versus the Moneymaker, The Miz, on this one.
This is a tough one.
I will have to go with Ziggler, because I think one shot at the kisser and that match is over.
Do they carry the momentum or not? I'm gonna say Miz. I'm gonna say Miz is gonna retain it.
Okay, and he very well could, but it'd be interesting to see if he retains it with a black eye.
Right, he very well could.
And you know, that would just be the perfect addition to the storyline for them.
I think they're setting it up, letting the Miz carry the title until Barrett comes back.
Which I'm hoping that's going to be fairly soon.
It should be. I don't know. I mean, surgeries are always kind of unpredictable. Some people heal faster than others, so we'll see.
What was it again that he's out for?
I think his shoulder.
Okay.
I think his shoulder injury.
Okay. All right. Now moving on to the biggie of the night.
Yes.
The one that everybody is looking to. Cena versus Lesnar.
Now, how did you like Monday Night Raw with the Hogan celebration?
I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. It was somewhat predictable.
Right.
But I like the idea of Cena coming out to save the day, so to speak. Even though that's been done millions of times, I don't have a hard time thinking that you probably were not thrilled.
Yeah, I thought it worked. I loved the Hogan celebration from the get go. Mm-hmm. Seeing Paul Orndorff come out.
Oh yeah, I loved Orndorff's appearance. That was awesome.
That was awesome, and seeing the NWO and all of them come out. That was really cool to see. But I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say this is Lesnar's time.
I agree because it's a great chance for them to turn Cena heel too. I can see that happening. Him being so ticked off that Lesnar wins that he starts turning his back on everybody.
All right. Well,
I can see that. So
now tonight is also in Mexico for AAA. It's actual Triple Mania tonight too.
Triple Mania,
which is like their WrestleMania.
Okay.
And Alberto Del Rio.
Oh.
And Rey Mysterio will be on the card.
What about Roberto Rodriguez?
I don't know about him. I don't know. All I know is them two.
But Rey Mysterio's down there, huh?
Yeah, Rey Mysterio's going to be on there too.
It's nice to know he's still working.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You think he's going to come back to WWE anytime soon?
No.
You think? No?
I don't think so.
Oh.
I don't think so.
He would be a welcome. I know the crowds would just eat that up.
Oh, absolutely.
It'd be good for business. Well, we'll see how well we do this evening on tonight's pay-per-view. It's going to be SummerSlam. Go to the WWE Network and spend
$9.99.
And then next week, check in right here at SCI.